Hello there, I'm Recky, and welcome back for another reaction. You guys remember we went to Wolters' World and the Don'ts of United States when visiting. We're gonna check it out again. Well, not the same video because that would be super boring. This one we're gonna watch is the Don'ts of Sweden. A Swede reacts to the Don'ts of Sweden, and I know a couple of the don'ts. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. If you do enjoy this, I want you to smack a like and of course hit that subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. A big thank you to the channel members and the Patreons. Thank you so much for the amazing support. A big shout out to the Supreme Tier donators over by Patreon and of course channel membership as well. Personal shout outs to the ultimate supporters: a friend, Deja, Walt, Tammy, only available on Patreon. Thank you so much for the insane support. Let's do this. The Don'ts of Sweden.
Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today we are here in the islands of Stockholm. And I'll tell you why I'm not telling you the name later, because it's Swedish and we always have problems with that. And today what we have for you are the don'ts of visiting Sweden. And the first don't I have for you is don't ignore the line culture. Look, in Sweden, they love their lines, and even if you don't see the line there, everybody knows who was first, who was second, who was third. So don't try to jump the line.
Never jump the line. Is that a crime? But you will be treated like you kill people. Just saying, don't do it. If you don't know if there is a line, ask, is there a line? And they will say, yeah, it starts here. Now you know.
Whether it's at the bus or getting on a ferry or doing whatever, they do follow the line. So do be careful with that, because they are pretty strict with that one. So that's the first thing, is don't skip the line. Yep. Follow who went first and things like that. My second don't for you is, if you're lucky enough to get invited to a Swede's home, which you probably will because the people are really nice here, is don't wear your shoes inside their house. It's like the biggest insult when you go to somebody's home. And when you go in, you're going to see they'll have places to put your shoes all the time. So just take your shoes off, put it there. Sometimes they might have slippers for you, sometimes not.
You don't get slippers. You walk on your socks inside. It's normal. It's normal. It's gonna get dirty.
It's okay, but just know you're going to take your shoes off. So if you got stinky socks and feet, make sure you wear clean socks and, wash your feet before you go there, okay? Now, my third don't for you is probably more related to the tourists that when we come here is, when you come to Sweden, you're going to want to go to the clubs and the bars and things like that, because they've got some really fun clubs around the country. But the thing is a lot of times, especially here in Stockholm, you'll have what's called face control. So my don't for you for this is, don't expect to get into a club if you don't dress the part. You do have to dress up when you go out here, because there will be people like pointing, okay, you can go in, you can go in, you can go in. Now, this is more of a Stockholm issue, but it does happen in other places around the country. So don't dress like crap when you come here. There's a reason why we all wear H&M stuff. That's a Swedish company, because they got some really cool, cheap style.
Yeah, that's a Stockholm thing. Yeah, don't worry about it. If you want to look like a hobo when you go drinking and clubbing, look like a hobo and drinking club. It's all good. Do it. That's a Stockholm thing
here. So go hit one of the thousands of stores in the country so you can look good when you go out, and then you can actually get in when you want to go out. Now, my fourth don't for you is, don't worry too much about your safety when you come to Sweden. Yeah, I know there's a lot of stuff in the news about things going on here, but the thing is Sweden is very safe. And just like anywhere you go, if you go to the parts you're supposed to go to and don't go to the parts you're not supposed to go to, you're gonna be okay. And that's one of the things, is we have our kids here and we let them kind of run around and have a good time, because Sweden is really safe. So don't worry about your safety too much. But just like anywhere, you want to pay attention. I mean, there's even pickpocket signs in the airport when you're going through the passport check, okay? So just a heads up on that, but you don't have to worry too much about the safety.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this is just me. I would be cautious during when it's late outside, when it's dark. I'm gonna say that, and I don't know about Sweden, but I'm Stockholm, especially Stockholm, probably, but I don't know. But I would say this: don't roam around alone in the park in the middle of the night. That's basically it.
Another don't I have for you is, don't forget to bring a credit card with a PIN number, okay? Because they don't always take cash here, which is kind of a pain in the butt, but just one thing you should know. Also, kind of a don't with that one is don't bring euros. They use the Swedish crown here, so you're going to use the Swedish krona when you do pay, but you will most likely use credit card instead of cash. So don't take out a bunch of money from the ATM when you come here, because you're going to be using your credit card most of the time.
The reason why it's Sweden is one of the first nations to almost completely be a cashless society. I don't have any cash on me. I never have any cash on me. I got my credit card, basically. And of course, most of the we got a small burger shop right next to me, a couple of kilometers that way, that stopped using cash because they got frequently robbed. That's one of the reasons too.
And I mentioned that because our next don't is don't expect a cheap vacation in Sweden. Unless you're coming from Norway. If you're coming from Norway, this place is cheap. But if you're coming from anywhere else, look, Sweden is not a cheap place to go. Drinking, eating, hotels, things like that throughout the country, it is really pricey. So make sure you prepare your pocketbook for when you...
This is what we talked about in one of the other videos when we talk about Sweden and alcohol. Like I said, you cannot go to any general store or liquor store or just a grocery store to buy your hard liquor. You can't. You got to go to Systembolaget, and that's basically a government-owned store that has the only permission to sell hard liquor. You can buy like I don't know how to say it. You can buy beer with a kind of low alcohol percent, basically.
You come here, and that's why when I tell a lot of people, it's like, look, you can do the Scandinavian tour and things like that, but also throw in the Baltics. Go over to Tallinn and Riga and Lithuania and stuff like that, and you can like kind of balance out the money you're going to spend, because this is not a cheap place to come. Now, my seventh don't for you is don't expect the Swedish food to wow you. Look, new Scandinavian cuisine is actually really good. The new stuff after this, it got influence and fusion from all over. But the traditional Swedish foods, you know, like the herring and the 19 versions of herring and things like that.
Love it.
And there's other things out there.
Yummy.
Probably not. There's probably a reason why you don't see so many Swedish restaurants around the world. Now, the new Scandinavian, the restaurants they have here has actually good food. But traditional Swedish food is probably not what you're going to be looking for to enjoy a lot. There are some good stuff, like their cinnamon rolls. Oh my God, they're fantastic. But just know, when you're going to be going out to eat here, go try new Scandinavian cuisine or other things here. So you have a lot of different international flavors. You'll have that. That's good. But the traditional local stuff is, well, like I said, check how many Swedish restaurants are in your hometown. Now, my eighth don't for you.
I don't like this guy, but it's unfortunately very true. We have a thing called that Swedes eat homemade food, and that basically means that Swedes cook a lot of food home. I'm pretty sure it's a different thing when it comes to Stockholm, a bit, the richer people, but we cook our meals at home, and it's a typical food in Sweden. It's going to be really hard for me to list, but meatballs are right there.
Is don't worry if you don't understand anything in Swedish. You'll see words and go, like this over here says fjäderhommarniskrog. I have no idea what the hell that says. And you'll have that a lot of times in Swedish, like, dude, I have no idea. But it's okay. Throughout Sweden, people speak English, German. You have all kinds of languages people speak here, because the Swedes are really good, and they have really, really good accents. I mean, it's one of the places where you go, they speak the language, and you're like, are you a tourist as well? Oh, no, I'm Swedish. I had English in school. Their English is fantastic, so don't worry about that. But
Well, I'm pretty sure that my English is extremely when it comes to others, but in general, people that is born, I'm gonna say 50 and older, 1950, of course, and older can speak pretty much fluent English with, of course, some accent.
I will say a little extra don't on there is don't do your Swedish, your Swedish chef impression, because a lot of people go, oh yeah, Swedish, you're flirty, blurty, flirty, blurty. Look, the Swedes won't get that upset. They might laugh at you, but it's more like the kind of thing.
It's an insult, dude. We're not the freaking Muppets.
Chef when you are here. Now, my ninth don't for you is don't worry about the Swedish silence. Look, when you're on, like, you're taking the subway here in Stockholm, or you're taking buses throughout the country, you're taking the trains, you'll notice it's very quiet. Like you hear the birds here going. The Swedes are very reserved and quiet, except when they're drinking. Then they just start singing all kinds of crazy songs. But in general, it's really kind of quiet.
Unfortunately, that's true. Swedes need alcohol. So Recky don't dance. And if he dance, he's intoxicated.
And if you're talking and you're hanging out with Swedes and there's not a lot of people talking, don't be upset by it. That's a normal kind of thing, okay? So don't worry about the Swedish silence, all right? I guess another little don't is if one of your Swedish friends says, oh, we're going to have a special dish from Sweden, and they're going to say, oh, we're going to have surströmming. Look, that is fermented Baltic herring, possibly the most stinkiest thing you can actually eat, and oh my God. So don't get tricked by your Swedish friends.
Okay, so that is disgusting. I'm going to say that. That's fermented herring, and it's disgusting. Well, my wife actually eat that shit. Basically, it's a sense of the herring gone bad. Then you smear that crap over a bit. I think it's called hard bread, like a bread that cracks, and it's just nasty. It's nasty. If you want to check it out, I'm 100% sure there's a million videos on YouTube of different people all around the world trying surströmming, fermented herring.
Because they do like to do that sometimes. And if you do have that, don't eat it in your house. Eat it outside and like let the neighbors know because it is insanely disgustingly smelling. But actually it doesn't taste that bad, but the smell is...
salty.
Well, it's just not good. Now, my 11th don't for you is don't gawk, okay? Look, I'm not going to lie to you. The people in Sweden are really good looking. The guys and the girls are gorgeous. You look around going, my God, they look so good. My God, they're so good looking. And they dress really well. And you're saying, wait, wouldn't they all get in the clubs because they want to? Look, just don't gawk too much when you are here because they are quite good looking when you are here. A couple other little things you might want to realize is don't think the Swedish fish candy we have in the U.S. and other places, they don't have Swedish fish here. You're not going to buy Swedish fish in a bag. What you're going to do is you're going to go to a candy store. In the candy store, you'll get a scooper, and then you scoop up things that look like the Swedish fish to put in a bag, and you do it that way. So don't go in.
This is something I stopped doing. You go to a wall, and there's buckets of these with 100 different types of candy, but it's not sanitary. Most of the store says that they clean and they make sure everything is working and it looks good and stuff like that. But this one example, for when we have the COVID, this one was completely shut down. They weren't allowed to sell the candy. I love this. When I was a kid, I got a basket or a small, maybe like this, and I walk around and I pick my favorites. And my brother did the same thing, and my sister did the same thing. A typical Saturday for baby Recky.
Looking for the bags of it, like pre-packaged, you're going to go to a candy store, dig it out, and put it into a bag for you. Also, don't call IKEA, okay? IKEA in the U.S. is from here, and it's nowhere near as popular here as it is in the U.S. Like in the U.S., you say, oh, I went to IKEA, and everyone's like, oh, you got that IKEA? Oh my God. And here it's like, oh yeah, I went to IKEA and I got it. It's like another place to go shopping, all right? So don't be thinking it's a magnificent, a wonderful thing as we find in the U.S., as they might not find it.
Come on, we all been there, bought the cheapest shelf in a lifetime, and it took you about 4 hours to assemble it. And when you got to the last part and was missing one screw, we've been there. I got a Kia pretty close. I'm never there. Why would I go there?
The same way here.
Meatballs
and I guess I have one other don't I have for you for Sweden. If you're gonna be sailing in the islands and stuff like that, don't go on a boat that's called Broken, because yes, it was quite prophetic that it broke down while we were going through the archipelagos. So it was a little bit scary, but it worked out okay. We got towed and had some fun and melted through some things, but it was good. But just don't take a boat called Broken, just FYI. Anyway, I hope this helps you enjoy more of Sweden. It is a really cool place. I highly recommend it. We have all kinds of videos on visiting Sweden, 10 things that'll shock you about Sweden, 5 things you'll love and hate, what you should eat when you're here, because yes, there are some things you should eat. I know I made fun of the surströmming, but in the food in general, but there are some really cool things you should try. Anyway, if you want to learn more, check us out on our website at woltersworld.com. We're also on Twitter.
Max is the only burger spot me and my wife go to. We got McDonald's and we got Burger King. This is the Swedish burger joint, and it's fantastic. So if you ever like visit Sweden, you gotta go to Max. The best burgers.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and we really appreciate your likes, subscriptions, and we hope you have a great time here in Sweden. But don't worry, you will. Your wallet won't, but you will. Bye from Sweden. Oh, and the reason why I didn't say what this island was out loud is because I can't pronounce it, and that's one of the things about Swedish. Like, you're just like, I don't know how to pronounce these things.
I get that. I get that.
If you like that last travel video, click over here for more videos you might like. If you want to see our latest travel video, click over here. And if you like these videos, you want to subscribe, click that subscribe button, which is up or above my head somewhere, and click there and you get those videos every Wednesday and Saturday. And bye from the Hill of Crosses here in Lithuania. Icky.
There's nothing. You forgot to add it. Never mind. Never mind. So, most of it were actually true. And I really agree when it comes to food. We don't have luscious food. We don't have amazing stuff. We have pizza, and it's a delicious thing. When it comes to Swedish cuisine, no, there's actually nothing there to say that it's just gotta try this. Of course, the only thing I can say is the meatballs. And if you can help me out by hitting that subscribe, when we get to 20K, 20,000 subscribers, Recky will make for you Swedish meatballs. So what are you waiting for? Click that subscribe. And like, of course. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Recky. You stay safe.